O Holy One, may the words of my mouth and the meditations of our hearts and minds be acceptable to you, for you are my source and my sustainer. With the eyes of our hearts enlightened, we may know the hope to which God has called us. Leah Dietrich is an outstanding author who has published essays and short fiction. I was gifted one of Dietrich's compilations a few. The book is called Thanks, Thanks, Thanks. Thank goodness for everything. I have it up here for you to read it after the service if you want to come check it out. It's a cutesy kind of book. This book is a short anthology of thank you notes, but the notes are written to all manner of nouns, not just to proper nouns or people. For example, dear printed reading material, thanks for having an end. The internet doesn't have one, so I never know when to stop. All the best, Leah. Another, dear pancakes, thank you for being such an efficient maple syrup carrier. You're also a pretty fantastic canvas on which to paint copious amounts of butter. Bravo. Love, Leah. Dear heavy eyelids, thanks for being a reason to stop. I'd been looking for one, and you were just the thing. Thanks, love, Leah. It occurred to me as I began to prepare for this morning's message that one of the most important parts of All Saints' Day really is gratitude. And of course, this is a part of our faith that will tie us right into the end of November. I mentioned Dietrich's work and her unorthodox approach to gratitude to mention that one of the most important parts of this very day, where we see the folks who have come before us in our local church and in the world, is to try and keep from seeing our saints that have come and gone as perfect. All Saints' Day is also about the silly, right, and the small parts of people, the things which we might forget about sometimes. The eccentric uncle who maybe always put a lot of salt on his food, but was also a war hero. The grandmother who passed away that many people called rude, but you simply saw her as being direct. With regard to our faith, what we can recall is that indeed, even the most seemingly serious figures from our historic ancestry also have a thankful humor that we can connect to as well. And therefore, we know that we're deeply connected to them. The temptation of being a person to idolize people and make them out to be more than simply human. We can write our own funny gratitude notes on this All Saints' Day. I have one here. Dear Martin Luther, thank you for writing 95 Theses. See, it pairs perfectly with Jay-Z's 99 Problems. And so we have a delightful parody. Sincerely, Cedar Hills, UCC. Dear Julian of Norwich, thank you for your mystical writings as well as your obsession with cats. To me, this is just plain entertaining. Best, Pastor Holland of the 21st century. Or maybe we want to go a little further back even in our faith ancestry. To those in the Hebrew Bible or those among the early Christ followers. Dear Thomas, thank you for doubting. It helps me feel less crazy. Love confused Christians of today. For a final note of thanks for us, dear Mary, thank you for sticking with it among all the misogynistic issues of your day. You've inspired me in my church's ministry. Thank you, Contemporary Church. The words of St. Paul once again. With the eyes of our hearts enlightened, we may know the hope to which God has called us. This notion's an interesting one as it is showing us the intersection of knowledge and wisdom. And that can be a critical part of faith. Indeed, our church is one that greatly honors the knowledge of Christian texts and the understanding of people's experiences throughout the world, such that we might grapple with issues both of today and of yesterday and how they intersect. Because I'm a more intuitive person, I have a hard time with the notion that the heart should know. But I do love academia, so I appreciate the way that knowledge greatly impacts the way that we perceive our faith and our walk with and towards God and Christ. It is absolutely the case that our hearts would not be enlightened in the ways that they were if it were not for the people and the faith ancestors who have come before us. And so today we remember, we say thank you. Maybe today, this week, you can write your own substantive or silly note of thanks about someone who's passed on before you. Maybe someone who you thought at the outset you couldn't agree with at all, but you see now maybe they revealed some wisdom to you in a way. Someone in your community or someone who has moved on from your family. The theologian Reverend Sarah B. Drummond mentions that on All Saints' Day at her local church, their historian invites the community to think about the gathered church of the past over the generations, the local congregation in its different forms throughout the generations. And so I invite you this morning, if you want to, you can close your eyes and think about 1951, the year that our church first gathered. We should absolutely be cognizant of the fact that all of our faith ancestors here in this church reap the benefits of how the Kalapuya people steward this land. We think about the joys and struggles of so many people who came and have come and gone from our church since 1951 and even before. We understand with nuance and complexity the faith ancestry that comes before us. And so we honor today those who were previously honored and respected. And also, we remember those who have too often been forgotten. With the eyes of our hearts enlightened, we may know the hope to which God has called us. So may we feel a call to ask ourselves time after time, how will we let our hearts be enlightened, and what hope is God calling us towards? I pray that it will be so for us this week and throughout our lives. Amen.